Was geht ab, meine Damen und Herren? Herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Video von eurem Lieblings-YouTuber Deutschified. Okay, maybe I'm not your favorite, but I'm a close second. If you are new here, my name is Colin, and I take pop culture and news articles from German media, interpret them into English, and add a little commentary of my own. It's a fun way to stay up to date on all the latest current events and even learn some Deutsch along the way. So, kommen wir also gleich zum Thema. Ermittlungen wegen Brandstiftung. Dun dun dun. 50 Bootsschuppen abgefackelt. 1 Million Schaden. Die Feuerwehr rückte per Boot zum Löschen an. It says arson investigation. 50 boat sheds torched. 1 million in damages. The fire department moves in via boat to put out the flames. So, we're not off to a great start. But I will go on. Dicke Flammen schlugen den Einsatzkräften vor Ort entgegen. Die Rauchschwaden waren über den Stadtteil im Westen von Neubrandenburg kilometerweit zu sehen. Großbrand am Tollensesee und die Polizei geht erneut von Brandstiftung aus. Quote, gegen 4 Uhr wurde die Polizei über einen Brand in der Bootschuppenanlage an der Schillerstraße informiert, sagte Polizeisprecher Alexander Gombert. Er sagt, als wir hier eintrafen, standen schon 2 Bootreihen im Vollbrand. So it says, thick flames rage on site against the emergency relief forces. Billows of smoke could be seen from kilometers away over this area of the city in Neubrandenburg, in West Neubrandenburg. A major fire on the Tollensesee, this is a prominent lake in the German town of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Doesn't get more German than that. It's about 60 miles north of Berlin, just for reference. It says, the police are once again suspecting arson. Quote, around 4 o'clock in the morning, the police were informed of a fire at the boat shed facility, says police spokesperson Alexander Gombert. He says, quote, when we got here, 2 rows of boats were already fully ablaze. So this was obviously a very intense fire. And if you look at the wording of this article, it says, Die Polizei geht erneut von Brandstiftung aus. They are once again suspecting arson, which would imply that there have been previous fires in this area, perhaps even at this specific location with these boat sheds. So, very interesting and also extremely tragic. 1 million in damages. I'm assuming that's in euros, but I mean, was für eine Tragödie. Echt schade. Okay, weiter. Insgesamt brannten 50 Bootsschuppen ab oder wurden zumindest sehr stark beschädigt. I think that's a typo. Sehr stark. Den Gesamtschaden schätzte der Polizeisprecher zunächst auf mehrere 100.000 Euro. Da jedoch auch viele Boote zerstört wurden, könnte der entstandene Schade auf eine Summe von 1 Million Euro hinauslaufen. It says a total of 50 boat sheds were burned down or at the least severely damaged. The police spokesperson estimated the total damage to be roughly several hundreds of thousands of euros. However, because many boats were destroyed, the resulting damage could amount to a sum of 1 million euros. Das ist ja eine riesige Summe. Was für eine Rechnung. Der Brand war zunächst in 10 Bootsschuppen ausgebrochen. Durch das trockene Holz und viele Brandbeschleunigende Kraft- und Schmierstoffe in den Anlagen breiteten sich die Flammen schnell auf etwa 50 Bootschuppen in 2 Schuppenreihen aus. Die Feuerwehr konnte den Brand bis zum Mittag löschen und auch noch einige Boote aus den Schuppen retten. Zugleich wurden mehrere Ölsperren ausgelegt, um Öl und andere Schmierstoffe zurückzuhalten. It says the fire initially broke out in 10 boat sheds. Due to the dry wood and many fuels and lubricants in the shed, which served as accelerants, the flames quickly spread across roughly 50 boat sheds situated in 2 rows. It took the fire department until noon to extinguish the fire as well as salvage some of the boats from the sheds. During this time, several booms were laid out to hold back the oil and other lubricants. So it sounds like they were able to contain this thing to some extent. And like they say here, it's not just about putting out the flames. You know, I know that's kind of the immediate concern, but when you have all of this flammable material just sitting around in these, you know, boat shed, these very dry wooden boat sheds, as the article says, you know, that stuff can get into the lake and spread very easily. You know, and then this place becomes quite literally a ticking time bomb. Eine tickende Zeitbombe. Also, gehen wir weiter. Polizeisprecher Gombert, quote, aufgrund der vorliegenden Erkenntnisse wurde ein Ermittlungsverfahren wegen des Verdachts der Brandstiftung und der Gewässerverunreinigung eingeleitet, welches durch das Kriminalkommissariat Neubrandenburg geführt wird. Zeugen und Personen, die Auffälligkeiten im Nahbereich wahrgenommen haben, werden gebeten, sich im Polizeihauptrevier Neubrandenburg unter diesem Nummer zu melden. It says police spokesperson Gombert, based on the available evidence, a preliminary investigation is being launched with regard to the suspected arson and water pollution, Verunreinigung, literally the unpurification, which is being led by the Neubrandenburg Criminal Commissioner's Office. Witnesses and those who have noticed anything unusual in the neighboring area are asked to report it to police headquarters at this phone number here. Just tragic. I mean, so very tragic. You know, I'm not a criminal investigator, obviously, nor do I play one on TV. I might play one on YouTube. However, I'm gonna go with the opinion of the professionals on this one. In this case, the Neubrandenburg Police, die Polizei. I agree. I think this was arson. I think this was intentional, because I just find it hard to believe that a fire of this magnitude would come about in, you know, the early morning hours when there's little to no activity, I presume, in these boat sheds. And it sounds to me, at least from this article, like this is not the first time something of this nature has happened in this area. So, you know, I emphasize with everyone whose property was damaged in this catastrophe. From the article, it doesn't sound like anyone was in fact injured, so that's extremely fortunate. That's not to minimize the loss of a boat, because I know boats are certainly not cheap, at least here in the US. I don't know what the German or the European boat market is like. But I will say I'm glad that this wasn't someone's house where, you know, literally all of their belongings could have gone up in flames here. So I sure hope there are some insurance policies in place on this property. Eine Versicherungspolice, hoffentlich. Und ja, vielen Dank alle für das Zuschauen, and I will catch you in the next one. Tschüss.